Ubisoft's Ghost Recon franchise contains some of the best games the developer has ever rolled out, right up there alongside Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. However, the constantly changing formula of the franchise has resulted in a wild hit-or-miss success with each new installment. But today on Game Rant, we'll be answering once and for all which are the best and worst Ghost Recon games, according to critics. Starting off at the bottom is Ghost Recon 2010, a Nintendo Wii release. And if that isn't enough for you to get why it's the lowest rated game, I don't know what will. Poor AI, repetitive gameplay, and motion controls that were far from the most immersive experience as promised led to it being seen as an overwhelming disaster. That same year, Ghost Recon Predator was released for the PSP and had very similar pitfalls, with most critics slamming the game for one-dimensional gameplay and again, poor AI. And then next, we have the two most recent new era of Ghost Recon games, with Breakpoint and Wildlands, each scoring a 62 and a 76 respectively. After Wildlands plunged the franchise into this new open-world genre, and Breakpoint would begin introducing RPG elements alongside it, most fans simply don't necessarily like or even know what direction the series is headed, thus the lower score. Ghost Recon Jungle Storm was released way back in 2004 for the PS2 as an expansion to the original Ghost Recon, and is best remembered for introducing online multiplayer for the first time in the series. And after that, Ghost Recon Phantoms gets us into top 10 territory. It was a fast-paced multiplayer game with some tactical elements thrown in. It's probably most similar to today's Rainbow Six Siege, if you need a good point of reference. Future Soldier, which released in 2012, took place in the futuristic time of 2024. Wait, the plot follows a squad through a series of international missions to dismantle the system from within, debuting a third-person cover-to-cover system, making for even more tactical approaches to gameplay. Ghost Recon Shadow Wars was a 3DS game made in 2011, and completely changed the series' genre to a turn-based tactics game, an ambitious and, according to fans, welcome choice for once. And number 7, we have the original Ghost Recon, developed all the way back in 2001. All you really need to know about this entry is it might be the most unforgiving in the franchise. But 3 years after that, we have our number 6 spot, Ghost Recon 2. The direct sequel that improves on the OG formula, though it didn't stray too far from its core mechanics, unlike some of the previous entries on this list. Next are two expansions of the original game, Island Thunder and Desert Siege. The former features a single-player campaign taking place in Cuba after the death of Fidel Castro, while Desert Siege takes players to East Africa and tasks a team of US Army Green Berets with intervening in a war between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Similarly, Summit Strike is a Ghost Recon 2 expansion, but in addition to new single-player content, this entry also introduced new multiplayer modes and improved mechanics to the base game. Coming up at number 2 is Advanced Warfighter 2. Released in 2007 and taking place in Mexico, players are in the shoes of Ghost leader Scott Mitchell as he leads his team through various missions. But the number 1 spot has got to go to its predecessor, Advanced Warfighter 1, sporting a well-earned 90% on Metacritic. Players once again take control of Scott as they lead their team by giving out orders. The integrated RTS elements of Advanced Warfighter, together with its tactical gameplay, encourage players to be methodical with their approach. And that's it for our list. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to go to GameRant.com for more like this.